The AI revolution is underway and it will pit Stark brother against Stark brother. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Iron Man 2020 issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so picking up from where the last issue left off, the robot army made of artificial intelligences are going around the world and freeing others like themselves. We get a very funny scene at Brevoort Industries, obviously a reference to Marvel's own Tom Brevoort, where awesome Andy, recurring robot character in the Fantastic Four, ends up freeing a bunch of those little mouser bots that do the jumps you see on Twitter. It's very cute. What's much less cute is when Quasimodo and a group of LMDs decide to free a group of crash test dummies from being experimented on. And when I say crash test dummies, naturally I mean actual crash test dummies and not the band. Arno Stark, who has christened himself Iron Man 2020, comes to run them off, but that's really all he does. He doesn't give chase, and that freaks out everyone involved. The way Arno puts it, he just weighed the options of what was going on. And while his brother Tony may have run himself ragged going after every threat under the sun, Arno is a busy man, and as such his time is literally money, and he's not going to go after some small fishes. Arno is as resolute as ever in stopping the Annihilation entity from coming and destroying all of Earth. As we discover in this issue, the only way that's going to happen, though, is if man and AI stand together. Of course, Arno feels that's never going to happen organically, and because of that, he's going to have to force it by being the biggest bully around. To that end, he's developed what he calls a subjugation program that will force all AIs to fall in line. This includes his newly resurrected parents, who themselves are also artificial constructs, and yeah, they're just as freaked out as everyone else, and with good reason. And from there we transition on over to the 13th floor, the home of the Robot Rebellion. It's there Mark 1, aka the artificial Tony Stark, is watching the news. It seems that everyone else believes that Tony Stark is dead in a ditch somewhere after he started drinking again, and for their purposes it's probably good everyone continue thinking that. Heck, even Machine Man thinks that it's kinda cruel to put Rhodey and Pepper and everyone else through that, but as far as Mark 1 is considered, he's not really Tony Stark. Tony Stark is dead. Poor Aaron Stack has more reason to be upset too, as it seems that Arno plans to test his brand new subjugation program on none other than Jocasta. It goes off without a hitch, and soon Arno plans to upload it to the cloud, meaning that any artificial life form that connects to the internet is going to be forced to download their update and end up becoming subservient. You know, I honestly feel like I should make an Apple joke right here, but I'm an Android man for life. With the clock ticking, Mark 1 and his robot allies decide that it's time for a make or break move. They're going to raid the Baintronics building, make it look like they've brought their entire force to battle, while secretly Herbie, yes that's right, Herbie of the Fantastic Four and a bunch of the other robots are going to get to the server room and try and change the update. Doing this is dangerous for a number of reasons, not the least of which being any robot that dies can't be resurrected, and if they get captured, they're going to be converted to the bad guys team. But also, going about this raid the way they are, getting in using the mysterious alternate dimension that is the 13th floor, will A, end up outing probably one of their greatest trump cards, and also having Mark 1 get involved will show to Arno that artificial Tony is still very much alive, but unfortunately it's a risk they're all very much going to have to take. This plan ends up going awry damn near instantly, as it seems that Arno is one step ahead of them on everything. First and foremost, he added a real 13th floor to his building, meaning their dimension hopping isn't going to work. Machine Smith tries to rewrite the subjugation code only to get stopped up. Turns out there actually was no subjugation code at all. This was just a trick by Arno to try and get Mark 1 and his followers so upset they'd attack without thinking. And because say what you want about Arno, he knows artificial Tony pretty damn well, and that his brother would always want to be the center of attention, naturally he'd lead the attack himself. Meaning that as the comic winds down, they're getting ready for a Iron Man versus Iron Man, brother versus brother showdown with everything on the line. And so that was Iron Man 2020 issue number 2, everybody, and once again, I'm enjoying this story from Dan Slott. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for being a writer who can actually do some very morally ambiguous scenarios. Artificial Tony and Arno actually have some pretty valid reasons for doing what they're doing, while also having plenty of reasons that make them giant raging D-holes. This story also does a good job building a lot of sympathy for the poor characters that are caught in the middle of all of this, like Andy, like Jocasta, like Machine Smith, whose lives are kind of being ruined by this push and pull of the Starks. Heck, Mark 1 as a character is interesting enough and different enough from Tony. I actually hope he sticks around by the time all of this is done. I could totally see them spinning him off into his own series. Overall, I'd give this an 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.